What's up, YouTube? What is up? It is your boy Sanchez 405 coming at you. It's on the Warpath, and y'all, we got him back again. We got Nati back from DMVSportsZone. Check him out on Twitter. Subscribe to him. We've got the comments. I don't send you to his About page anymore. I send you to where you can see his videos directly now. Next time, I'm going to get you where it's just one click and it's a subscribe. But Nati, man, how are you doing, pal?
I'm doing well. It's been a long, last couple of days with work and stuff, but I'm just glad that we got the Nats back, the Caps back, the Wizards are sticking up the joint, but we still got them back, and football's coming back with training camp, so excited.
Yeah, man, it's an exciting time, especially to be a DC sports fan, unless you're watching the Wizards. Shout out to Franklin. What's up, man? How you doing? Hail. Marcus Purnell, one of the OGs of the channel. He's been here for 4 years supporting on the Warpath since when I started the channel back in 2016. So him and old Gus, who was on here the other night, those have been longtime supporters. What's up? My name is Meese. How you doing, pal? But yeah, man, I'm excited. We got stuff to talk about. It's not. It's no longer. We're out of the content making season, and what I mean by that is we don't have to make topics up anymore. Like you don't have to make those up. We've got stuff that this is what people are saying. This is what people are doing. And I'm excited, pal. I am just to get this season on. I mean, I sat down. I think I've watched more baseball than I ever have when it's on. And I mean, it's good. I mean, hey, the piece de resistance. I love it. Shout out to Burgundy and Gold fan all day, formerly Skins fan all day, Dubs family, and Gus. Speaking of the devil, we got Gus right in here right now. So, yeah, but we're going to dive right into it. It's training camp. Really, it's a mini camp. Not to sound redundant, and that's what they're doing. They've been doing a lot of agility training, and one of the biggest stories that came out was Alex Smith.
Yeah.
And what's been going through your mind about this whole situation? Is it something that, is it a stretch, or does this story has fire to you when it talking about Alex Smith and him performing?
So first and foremost, I'm just happy that Alex Smith is, where he's at right now on his road to recovery, and he's getting really healthy. And we all saw that major injury about 2 years ago, and a lot of us didn't think he would be back at this point. We didn't think he would be back on the football field, and I mean that probability is still there at this point. And I'm just glad that he's back and he's healthy. But at the same time, there were a lot of people who said that, Alex Smith is going to be competing with Dwayne Haskins or even Kyle Allen for the starting quarterback position right away. And I just don't see that. I think with almost 2 years away from football, I think the major point for Alex Smith, the main thing that he needs to sort of get through first is just getting back to the football field, getting to training camp, because technically he was only cleared by his own doctors. He was never cleared by the team doctors. So we got to wait on that. And I just see Alex Smith as being a really good veteran leader for the team. And I don't think we'll cut him this year just because his salary cap is just way too high. But maybe next year we could clear that cap space and go with our young quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, and really build a team around him because we didn't really do too much of that this offseason, focusing more on the defense and obviously drafting Chase Young.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think even taking it a step farther is the fact that I don't see how he can play football. That's the thing. Like you just said, it's been 2 years, almost. It'll be 2 years in November since he touched the football field. That's developing muscle memory and knowing, you can look good just standing there.
Yeah.
And you're a professional. I feel like you should be hitting your targets when nobody's in your face. I likened it to Chris Thompson. Chris Thompson, after he was hurt in New Orleans, he was never the same dude. You could just tell he played with a little bit more. I'm not going to use the word fear, but he played with a little caution.
Yeah.
I think that Alex needs to move into that mentor role. Like, accept that. And I mean, it's hard to say that because the man's a competitor, and you don't want that fire to go. And he always has something to prove because you look at it. We said Kaepernick, and then we say my homeboy. They took the teams to the Super Bowl after Alex was sat down.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I just think he needs to move on, become a mentor. I think he could be a great asset in the organization. In a voice of reason.
Yeah, and I think like the smart thing, not just for the team, but for him himself, for his health, would just be like what you said, to be that mentor, to maybe play in a sort of role in the organization itself and not return back to the field because, we saw what happened 2 years ago, and we saw that with one injury, like your whole career could just be thrown into ruins. And I think it's just too much of a risk for Alex Smith to sort of go through that. We already have the virus and the pandemic right now, and on top of that, we got the injury risk that Alex Smith, has now with his knee just sort of, or his leg being partially recovered at this point.
Right. Burgundy and Gold fan saying, I have bad news, man. What you got, Sean? What's the bad news, man? What's the bad news? Don't be teasing that. You better put that up in the comments, bro. I hope it can't be. If it's not a sex scandal, it's not that bad. I ain't complaining about it, but you talk about this in this opt out that the players are having in the pandemic. I mean, the man's coming off a severe infection. I mean, I know that injury has probably cleared up and everything, but don't you think that there's probably like some added risk there, even with the injury that severe? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional, but I would just think that might be in the cards for him. Don't know. Oh gosh, I can't stand skin. I can't stand skins. I decided to opt this year from eating. Oh, stop it, man! You make me sick, bro. You make me sick. That's a good brother, though. I leave him alone. What's up, Chris? Chris from middle school and high school. One of my buddies says the season gets canceled this year with a year off. The whole league. You guys would you guys change your position? Nah, I'm gonna say the same thing. Yeah, but thanks, Chris. Thanks for the comment, man. Appreciate that. But
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. I'm really worried about that though. Like I think a lot of us analysts in particular are like sort of pushing it under the rug, but I'm really worried because there is no bubble that has been established yet, and I think really like with the NBA, we're seeing with the NBA and also with the NHL. I think in this pandemic, a bubble is sort of like the way to go. A bubble is really the only way to ensure that like you complete your season. So I am a little worried with a comment there about like the season possibly getting canceled. I think it'll start on time, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. I don't know. I think that I think because you look at baseball, right? And baseball is the lowest contact sport. The Nationals have played all their games in Washington, D.C., 2 of which were supposed to be road games. The other set, I think the Miami series was supposed to be in Miami, right? So they haven't been able to go in there. But that at the point is, who goes to a casino or a strip club in the middle of a pandemic? I mean, then in driving through St. Louis, they don't look like they're in the middle of no pandemic anyway, but that's another story for a different day. And then, Miami, they're going down to strip clubs. I mean, Derek Jeter couldn't help them, like, find the resources to help them, like, just have something in-house. I don't know. Maybe you should call Bruce Allen and all them guys that used to work for Dan Snyder. Maybe they might know how to do that. What's up, Brad? Niners fans and Miami fan, University of Miami, the Hurricanes, sending love from the Who. Dub's family saying it's not us saying it's the coach Ron Rivera about Alex Smith. Share, yes, and share, like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and subscribe to Nati if you haven't done that already. Good content, good diverse content on his channel talking about all DC sports. So go out there and check him out. But and Ron was really the one that was talking, like Dove said, he was talking about how fluid Alex Smith looked. And Ken Zampese had an opportunity to address the media. I think it was either late last week or early this week. And he had some good things to say about Dwayne Haskins and what he can build on. Like, I think the media turning this more into a quarterback controversy, because DC strives on a quarterback controversy. I mean, you can go back. We had Griffin, Cousins, even McCoy Cousins at one point, Brad Johnson, Jeff George, Patrick Ramsey, Shane Matthews, Danny Werfel. You can go on. It started with like Jurgensen and Kilmer back in the day. Like, they love a controversy. I think Dwayne's got it. And I don't know if you saw Ken's comments, and just elaborate on what you thought about that and what Ken was talking about in his press conference, if you actually had a chance to listen to what he was talking about there.
Yeah, I did a little bit, but I mean, kind of like what you just said, this media, the city's media sort of like feeds off of controversy. And I think there wasn't really any QB controversy to like start with. I think it was just primarily coach talk, right? Like, we're going to have a competition. We're going to go with the best guy. But I think having invested a first-round pick last year, top 15 pick nonetheless, in Dwayne Haskins, I think he is the quarterback, at least for this year, but hopefully the quarterback for the future. And I think he's put in the work in the offseason. He, lost, 15 pounds, I think. And he's pretty much worked out with every wide receiver like in the book. And I think he's in for a pretty big year this year. And I think Ron Rivera can see that. And I think Ken Zampese can also see that. But on the Alex Smith point, just to go back a little bit to it, I think Dwayne Haskins is the main guy here. And I think Alex Smith, again, will he'll make his way through the season, but I don't think he'll really compete for that quarterback one. And Smith likewise. Or, I'm sorry, Allen likewise.
Yeah. And I mean, Kyle Allen, I think he put together, if you think about it, he put together a good body of work in that first part of the season. But towards the end, the bottom kind of fell out on him. So, I think Smith has an uphill battle either way, not even with his own his physical faculties, but just with those two young cats in front of him. But another interesting thing that I thought, and I had a chance to just listen to his opening statement, was Randy Jordan returning for his 7th season, I think now, or 6th season as the running backs coach. Been here since 2014. And if you ever had an opportunity to see like him mic'd up and everything, Randy Jordan is like an awesome dude to like listen to and everything. And he talked about competition in the running back room. And we talked about on Skins Fan all day. We talked about him on the running back room. This room is diverse, and Randy talked about competition. I have my beliefs in who's going to be there. I don't know, because you and I haven't talked about it, but like, what do you see out of this running back room? And are you crazy enough to say that Darius Geis will rush for 1,500 yards, Skins fan? But like, just tell me what do you like about this running back room? What do you see that we could do a little bit better going forward in 2020 with the running backs?
Yeah, the running back room is also like pretty top of my mind right now, because I will be making a video about it in the coming days. But with the room itself, like, I think there's a lot of potential there. I think Adrian Peterson is likely going to be the starting running back come week 1, just because he has all that experience, which is sort of necessary in this short off season. And he's played 2 solid years for us. He had 1,000 yards just like 2 years ago, and I think he was inexplicably benched last year during the week 1 game by Jay Gruden, and that says a lot, because Jay Gruden's no longer here, so he gets what he deserves. But I think Adrian Peterson is definitely the starting running back come week 1. Hopefully Darius Geis starts to take more reps as the season progresses and becomes that bell cow back for us, because we waited like 2 years for that to happen. And, he's shown the talent. He's shown that the ability on the field against the Panthers last year and also against the Jets, but he's never been able to stay healthy. So hopefully he becomes that bell cow back, but I haven't pegged as like the backup running back to 80 right away come week 1. I think Antonio Gibson is another guy I'm super high on. Outside of Terry, I think is the guy that I'm like most high on, like on the offense in general. Like I really do think he has a lot of potential, and I think he's sort of a Alvin Kamara type running back, and the fact that like he could catch a lot of passes out of the backfield, but he's really smooth when it comes to reading the holes and running up the field, and provides that big play threat. And that's not just because he was drafted in like the same round as Alvin Kamara, but just because he shows that ability. So I think I think Antonio Gibson will play more wide receiver reps, just because we don't really have much depth there with Harmon being out for the season. We did sign Dontrell Inman, but I don't know, man. I think Gibson will sort of take those pass catching reps out of the backfield. And then we also have Bryce Love, who's recently off the PUP list, I believe, and he's healthy, right? He's cleared, and finally for the first time as well in the last 2 years. And I think Bryce Love could be a really good third down back for us, possibly, and maybe even work his way up as a future backup role once AD inevitably leaves the team because of the fact that he is getting up there in age. And then we also have JD Mckissick, who a lot of people are sleeping on. A lot of people don't think is going to have as much of a role in the team as I do. I think JD Mckissick was raved upon like by all the coaches, by Scott Turner, by Ron Rivera, and they signed him for a reason, right? And I think he offers that experience on top of the similar pass catching sort of ability that Darius Geis and even Antonio Gibson offers. So I think JD Mckissick could make the team. And I actually, in terms of who I think will make the team at the running back position, I think it will be AD, Darius Geis, Antonio Gibson, JD Mckissick, and then I think Bryce Love. They'll carry a fifth running back, and Bryce Love will be that fifth running back.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. No, I love McKissick. Shout out to Cassie. How you doing? Thanks for coming by. And first time being by. So thank you for doing that. I love JD McKissick. I've raved about him because how physical he is, and he's a former wide receiver. So kind of like in the vein of an Antonio Gibson. But before the draft, I thought he would be the replacement to Chris Thompson. The cat's 26 years old. He'll be 27 next week, I think. So he's got some left in the tank there. I think he could be like one of those 500 backs. You get 500 rushing, get 500 receiving, because that was Chris Thompson in 2017 before he got hurt, and that's what you need. But as far as what you said, like with 5, I don't know if we're going to carry 5. And Antonio Gibson is so versatile that do you label him as a wide receiver just so you can save face with your running back room like that? And that's going to be the question. What is Scott Turner going to value? More running backs or more receivers? And I think you get more versatility with more running backs, because a lot of these guys, I think everybody out of this backfield can catch for the most part. At least 3 of these cats, and Bryce Love can do it. Antonio Gibson, of course, if he's going to be labeled a running back, and then JD McKissick. But I'm right there with you. I like those 5. I think Peyton Barber is the odd man out in the room. And I think that, but why did Ron pick this guy up? Well, he saw him twice a year for like 3 or 4 years. So he's seen the guy 8 times in the last 4 years. So, that's something, maybe there's something that intrigues him about it. So I don't know, but I love it. And Randy Jordan said competition. You got to be competitive, because it can take with a running back. A running back is like driving a smart car. It takes one hit and you're done. Like legitimately, like it really is. And I think they've got a good good diverse backfield there. The one thing is Darius Guys, can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
And we talked about him possibly running for 1,500 yards. I want him to last 1,500 seconds first before I'm worried about him running 1,500 yards there. So I don't know. It is what it is, though, man.
Yeah.
We do have another question. Chris gives us another question here. With no preseason, do you see mostly last year's starters starting again this season just because of them playing last year? I'll let you take that one.
So with there being no preseason, with the short off season, I definitely think the incumbents on the team definitely have the advantage. I talked about Adrian Peterson and how much experience he's had, playing with the team itself, on top of the fact that he played with the Vikings, played with other teams. And I think he has the edge there at the running back position. You can also look at the edge positions as well on defense. I think, while Ryan Kerrigan might play more of a backup role towards the end of the season, I think maybe right away he'll start. And then Montez Sweat will sort of come into things and sort of play more on the field as the season progresses. But I definitely think the incumbents on the team have the advantage because of the fact that, there haven't been too many reps given to the rookies. And you can also go with the wide receiver group, right? You have AGG who has shown the potential in college, albeit against Division II opponents. But he definitely, I think, will be our wide receiver 2 for the future. But at the same time, with the short off season, with not having that many reps, I think Dontrell Inman might have an inside track on the wide receiver 2 position this upcoming season, at least to start. But like I said, I think the incumbents on the team really have the advantage.
I mean, I think you said everything that I would was thinking. I think that you have to have the advantage with no preseason. Yeah. I think this is detrimental to a lot of undrafted late round picks not having preseason to show themselves. Like, you're going to have to show up, and like Allen Iverson said, you're going to show up in practice. That's what you're going to have to do. And if you don't show up in practice, you might not have a job. And I mean, do you expand? And I don't know if they've talked about it. Do you expand the practice squad just for that reason? Because you got 2 undrafted. Like, the one thing that I thought was very smart was this team only picked up 4 undrafted free agents. You had the 2 wide receivers and Johnson and Wright. You picked up Moss, and then you picked up Montez, the quarterback from Colorado. So you didn't have to do all that weaving, ducking, and diving. So there's tape on a majority of your roster in the pros. So I really do think that that had a lot to do with that, and that shows the forward thinking on Ron Rivera and his squad.
And even with you mentioned Thaddeus Moss, but the tight end group itself, I think Ron Rivera did do his due diligence in sort of signing guys like Richard Rodgers and having Jeremy Sprinkle on the roster, also going after Logan Thomas. And albeit those names aren't really impressive, they don't have much production to their names. I think with a guy like Logan Thomas, someone who is pretty experienced in the league, doesn't have too much production, but has that potential that maybe the coaching staff could unlock. I think that is something that Ron Rivera looked for in terms of the free agents that he went after. And I think he's done a pretty good job there. Yeah,
no, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly with that. I bring up as we do some shout outs here. What's up, Ready Red? What else? I saw somebody else said Burgundy and Gold fan all day agrees with says that it's going to be a lot of 50-50 passes and screens. Yeah. How do you build a quarterback's confidence? Short, intermediate throws, throws out of the backfield. You get those pass catching backs. And I hate to shift because we've been talking about the offensive side of the ball, but Chris Harris said something very interesting to me. And I think this fits the mantra of this team. He said, we don't have cornerbacks. We don't have safeties. We have defensive backs. And you are going to fit into position that you're going to thrive in. To me, that's something that I think is so simple that people pass up on that. This is for years, I always felt like we were the round peg trying to get into a square hole with Jay Gruden. It didn't matter. It was like, oh, I don't care if you're a good power back. You're going to learn how to catch screens out of the backfield. Like Alfred Morris. Like that's why Alfred Morris didn't succeed. He couldn't catch the ball, but you're going to run him in the passing game. That made no sense. I think you've seen this on the offensive side of the ball and bringing in some of these players, the versatility of what they can do. You're not going to fit. I think Scott Turner's got a scheme for Dwayne and these running backs and these wide receivers that's going to be tailored to what the quarterback can do and then what these running backs can do to help him succeed and get to the next level. And I just feel like that's something I've never really heard from Jay Gruden or Mckissick or Joe Barry was like, we're going to do what these players do best.
Yeah.
It was always like how you fit into the scheme, You can't do that. I don't think you can do that in this type. I don't know. I don't know if you've seen that, but it just feels to me. It just feels a lot different in that sense. Instead of everything else going on.
I definitely saw that last year, especially on top of like the defensive backs and sort of like you said, sort of fitting them in, but not really fitting them in, and sort of, prioritizing the scheme over the players. On offense, we saw that with Dwayne Haskins. I think there were reports out there earlier this week that said that something we were pretty much already knew, but Jay Gruden's playbook was really confusing, really complicated, and didn't really cater to a young quarterback sort of getting to the swing of things like in an NFL offense. And that sort of set Dwayne Haskins back a lot last year. And we saw that once he got that chance, the first chance against the Giants. So I definitely agree with you. And I think Ron Rivera, Scott Turner, I think they really prioritize the players and their skill strengths and sort of go from there in terms of building a successful team. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Cassie asked, are they going to have football this year with all that going on? I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I said you cannot stop the evil empire. And I'm not talking about the New York Yankees or the Sith Lords. I'm talking about the NFL. You cannot stop them. And they will make a way. If they have to quit in the middle of it, they will make a way for the season to go on. Barber to the practice squad. I don't think that's going to happen, frankly. I think he's been in the league too long. So they're either going to have to cut him or maybe they might have some reserve list for him. And we don't know. Like right now, we are talking like everybody is healthy. Yeah. But when they start putting these pads on and instead of like doing wind sprints and everything and doing the calisthenics and all that good stuff, we're going to see what these guys are made out of. Dubs, get out of here. My question is, do you see the numbers? I see the numbers. Number one, that's what we're striving for. Shout out to Ready Red if I haven't said anything. Let's see. Another Fuzzy Panda question here. Has the NFL stated that the 53-man roster has to be finalized by the start of the season? Are they still run? That's a good question. Are they still running it like it that they have to have the roster cut down at the time that they were supposed to if it was the end of preseason?
I think it's still a 53-man roster, but I heard something about them having like a COVID list, like a group of players that you could put on the list, but like wouldn't rule them out for like the rest of the season or anything. So I think they're adding that special thing like for the season and sort of coping with like the pandemic going on, but I'm not sure. That's a good question.
Yeah. Let's see here. Franklin said the only reason why I say practice squad is because you can't depend on guys. Yeah, you all right. Yeah, you're right. We can't depend on guys. But you had brought up something just a few minutes ago, though. A few seconds ago, moving into that. You talk about not being reliable. We know Geis is not reliable because about Geis is I know more about him in his video game profession and his social media profession than I do about him as the football player in the NFL. Like, that doesn't bode well for me. I don't know. Like it's just weird, and I feel like I shouldn't hear this much from you if you're trying to rehab, and you have not been worth the return on investment. They already had rumors. The Eagles were making rumors of him, saying he lashed out in their meeting and everything. So I don't know, but it is what it is with that guy. But the tight ends, you had mentioned something about the tight ends and everything. Probably I think the most destitute position by far. Oh my gosh, you talk about something. Woo! I would ask you, who do you like on there? Not named Thaddeus Moss or something like that. But my God, we've got I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna listen to you on this one. Yeah. Talk to me about the tight end room and what, if it anything, what do you see good coming out of the tight end room?
So I'll say one thing about Coach Rivera. One negative thing about him this offseason. He and Kyle Smith didn't really address the tight end position adequately, in my opinion. A lot of us thought they would have gone after like Harrison Bryant or Hunter Bryant or some other tight ends in the draft, but instead they went with an undrafted guy in Thaddeus Moss and are sort of having a wait and see approach with the position. And like you said, like the tight end position is just totally depleted. Like there is, outside of Thaddeus Moss, I would say Logan Thomas maybe gives you the best potential. And I'll talk a little bit more about this in my next video, but I think he gives you sort of that Eric Flowers type potential, and that, you know, he's coming into the Washington football team with not much production to his name, but has some potential, maybe with a change in scenery, also playing closer to home, I guess, in Logan Thomas's case. Hopefully he'll improve and he'll give us some production next year, and maybe could be our tight end one. I mean, we don't have any tight end ones on our roster right now, but you know, with the depleted tight end group, I think maybe he has the chance to sort of take a hold of the position. Hopefully Thaddeus Moss becomes our tight end one for the future, and or we just end up signing one next offseason or drafting one in the draft.
Oh yeah, no, I was big on maybe going out and getting Ebron, but he stays hurt, so that just fits the mantra of the old guard. A lot of people talked about homeboy that was in Atlanta. I just feel like he has free agent bust written all over him.
Yeah,
like that's what I felt like. What's his name? Austin Hooper. And I just felt like he had a bust written all over him. There was nobody that I thought was like, you know what, they can come and change this and be like groundbreaking.
There was one guy.
Who was that?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Hunter Henry.
Yeah,
he was injury prone though. That's the thing. Like
that's my
like
thing.
You said, old guard.
Yeah, it was Hunter Henry. Like people were talking, like throwing Hunter Henry's name out there. I'm like, I don't want to mess with a glass tight end. I'm tired of dealing with that. But you know, Hale Hinches showed some good moments. But there was a reason why Indianapolis didn't keep him. And then you have Richard Rodgers, which is actually just a favor to our safeties coach, because that's his dad. And then Jeremy Sprinkle, who's the veteran in the room when it comes to being in Washington. And the only thing he's good for, the only sticky fingers he's ever had. The only sticky fingers he's ever had is if he ate barbecue or when he was shoplifting before the Belk Bowl when he was at Arkansas. So there's I saw a TikTok video and I said, you know, this was a video game because the guy threw a bomb from Dwayne Haskins one-handed to Jeremy Sprinkle. I said, that's a video game where I said that is no way. I said, somebody put his catch radius up because that he should have dropped it. Should have dropped it. And then, like you said, the boy from Dayton who decided the Saints drafted him, didn't he? Troutman?
I think so. Troutman, Adam Troutman.
Yeah. And then you had your boy from from Notre Dame as well. The kid from Canada, I think it was, who could have came in here. Yeah, I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing, kids? What are we doing with this? But in Ron, we trust. I think you have the potential in Thaddeus Moss. And see, I think we do get caught up on Thaddeus's name, his last name, Moss, and who his daddy is. I'll give you another guy who probably would have potential because of his daddy's last name. Jared Payton. He was a great player in the NFL. No, go back and check your history books. He was god-awful.
Yeah.
He didn't amount to anything. And his dad was sweetness. So, I mean, I think I like Logan Thomas, though. And once he gets off this COVID list, I do think that people are sleeping on Logan Thomas. And there's a reason why he came here. And I think we're going to see that. Skins fan said we should put Cam Sims at the tight end position. I mean, it is what it is. I'd be game for that. I mean, if he treat him like Niles Paul, right? Wasn't it Niles Paul?
Yeah, Niles Paul. Receiver to tight end.
Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. And that tight end position, that might be the best position on the offense for all we know going forward. If we can get 300, 400 yards from our tight end, maybe 3 touchdowns, that might be a win for us. Let's see here. If offered, would you guys watch a season of the NFL if the entire season was played like each game was a Pro Bowl game?
That's better than nothing.
Sure. You know what they should do? They should just turn them into 8. They should turn them into 8 teams and just have the divisions go at it. I couldn't see myself rooting for Dak or Carson Wentz, though. That would be the thing. What up, Jimbo? How you doing, man? Yeah, but I don't know. But, we kind of shift over. We kind of phased into the offense and everything. The left side is a big question mark. Ron Rivera, I think, does a good job of including everybody. I was driving into work the other day, and I thought I was going to crash my car coming into the parking lot when he said, I like what Charles is doing. And then he brought up Carmen Sandiego's cousin, Jerron Christian, because where in the world is Jerron Christian at? He didn't even say his name right. He said Jerron Christensen.
True.
I'm like, dude, I said I had to sit back and think about that for a second because I told Skins and them, I said, you know what? He likes Jerron Christian. And then I thought about it. I said, he didn't get this fool's name right. What does that say? Like, I mean, but what do you see out of this offensive line, man? Like, what? Like, I think the right side is good. Like, from center to right, we're good. Like, I mean, we know who we got on that end. But this left side, dude, it's a mess.
I got to say, though, so, like, with the right side, I like it in terms of the stability that has been there over the last couple of years. And obviously, we got the Pro Bowler and Brandon Sheriff, and he's a stud, no question about it. But I mean, we still have, like I mentioned in our last live stream, we still have Mr. 10-yard holding penalty himself, Morgan Moses, at the right tackle position. So I don't. Right here. Yeah, I heard he's been improving over the offseason and putting the work in. So hopefully, maybe he could return to form, return to that 2015, 2016 type of play that we saw that we really liked out of him. So, but yeah, I'm pretty confident on the right side. On the left side, it's a mess right now. So we got at the left guard position, we got Wes Martin and Wes Schweitzer, who are probably going to compete. And Sadiq Charles could even move into left guard, but I think he'll probably stay at the left tackle position. I think Wes Martin did a pretty good job last year in a couple of spot starts. I think it was on the right side with Brandon Sheriff going down with injuries and just along the line. So I have some faith in Wes Martin. I think maybe Schweitzer might start right away because of that experience that we talked about in the short off season. But I think Wes Martin will be that left guard for us for years to come. The left tackle position is even more of a mess. We got Sadiq Charles there, who should be the left tackle for the future, but is a rookie 4th round pick for a reason and has the talent, has the mobility, has the agility, but I don't know, man. Short off season, not many reps. I don't know if I could trust someone like that at the left tackle position right away. So I think someone who you didn't touch on, but someone who I think could play a pivotal role at the position is Cornelius Lucas. I think we got him from the Bears, and he graded pretty well from Pro Football Focus. And I know we don't tend to trust Pro Football Focus, but it is something. So I think he and probably, hate to say it, but Jaron Christian will probably compete for that left tackle position. And I think Cornelius Lucas will beat him out, but I think Sadiq Charles will be the left tackle come 2021, I should say.
Oh God. So the one thing I know, the one thing about Pro Football Focus is because there's no authority on offensive line play and everything, you got to go with them, right? And I pushed this stat all off season. When the former Redskins, they ranked 13th last year. They ranked out 13th. So they're in the top half of the league without their 7-time Pro Bowler, Trent Williams, their right guard, who's a 3-time Pro Bowler, who was hurt for the down stretch of the season, with something like somebody who was missing Adderall on Sunday, and Morgan Moses. The only consistent thing we had was Chase Roulier. And then you had homeboy Eric, I can't think of his name. Flower Power. Yeah. So we had Flowers.
He's good for us.
Yeah, he was, but he was looking to get paid, so I don't think he'd be in that. He probably went to the strip club with them Miami Marlins, but that's a different story for another day too. But I do trust them in that. I don't trust them when they said the top defensive player in 2010 for the Washington Redskins was Albert Haynesworth, and you're talking about a year where homeboy D'Angelo Hall adopted Jay Cutler into his family. So, like when he became Jay Cutler's daddy, I find that hard to believe. And if somebody can convince me otherwise, that's irrelevant. But the offensive line stuff, I agree with him wholeheartedly. But yeah, Cornelius Lucas, I think he could battle it out for. I don't know how on God's green earth Jaron Christian could battle for anything. Like his whole saga in Washington has been weird. Like it has been weird from the time. I think he was the last draft pick in 2017 to sign. And for the Skins at the time, and I really just don't know about him. He's like I guess he learned that from the Bobby Petrino school of accountability. So out there in Louisville, but I always say it is what it is. But yeah, I think Lucas will be a versatile. I think he brings what Ty Nsekhe brought a few years back. I think that he could do that, be a good swing tackle for us. And then if you don't want to keep Christian, which I don't think we will. You're going to have Courtney. I think you'll have Sadiq Charles there, unless you want to turn Sadiq into a swing tackle there. What else here? Dub said, going back to the tight ends, I think Moss has something to prove. Don't forget he was on some draft boards as a 3rd-round pick, which is true. He does have a lot to prove. No doubt about it. I mean, he didn't excel in a lot of things. He was good in the playoffs last year, especially in the national championship game with old Joe Burrow. And I thought this was interesting, too, talking about Joe Burrow. But did you see Dwayne Haskins' comments on Joe Burrow?
In terms of them not being in competition and not being and friends with one another? Yeah.
How can you not love this man as your quarterback? Like, how can you not love this guy as a competitive, like the competitor that he is? He is everything you want in a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's intelligent. He can be smooth, but he's a competitor, man. He really is. And just like reading those comments, like they were put out to battle each other out. He obviously won the battle. So I still don't know why people are saying Joe Burrow ranks higher than Dwayne Haskins, but I'll leave it alone at that. But yeah, I mean, Dwayne is the man, dude. I don't care what anybody says. He really is. He's a competitor you want, and he's so sharp. Let's see here. Skins fan said he connected with you, so he's following you now. So buckle up.
Okay.
But we kind of move on, and I touched into the defense earlier and talked about Chris Harris, and Kendall Fuller actually said the reason why he came back to Washington was he wanted to beat Tressway and Dustin Hopkins.
Yeah, ping pong.
Yeah, but I think he is what Chris Harris was talking about being a defensive back rather than a corner. He can play inside, he can play outside. It's coming from one of the better defensive back schools in the nation. So new defensive coordinator there from Southwest Virginia. But he I think this secondary is going to be all right. I think this secondary is going to be better than what we have. Who are you looking at? It's like, this is a guy we're sleeping on. This guy's going to blow up this year, and he's going to show out. Who are you looking at in this secondary?
So outside of probably, the big names, Kendall Fuller, Landon Collins, I think someone that is not talked about too often but should get the credit that he deserves, and also the love and admiration. I think Fabian Moreau will actually last year he had 3 picks, right? I think he led the secondary in interceptions, and we saw how good he was when he moved to the outside compared to when he was in the slot. When he was in the slot, he was getting beat by every single receiver. Who could not forget, I think it was the Thanksgiving game against the Cowboys a couple of years back. He got torched by Amari Cooper in the slot, and we saw it on national TV, and it was atrocious. And I remember that very, very well, even to this day. Even saying that, I think once he moved to the outside, he did get beat a couple of times down the field. But overall, he was pretty solid for us. He had 3 picks. He gives us the necessary speed that we need at the boundary cornerback position. He gives you the necessary strength, the size, everything about him. He was a 3rd-round pick for a reason, and a lot of people said he dropped really far in the draft. They should have been a 1st-round pick, and he had that potential. He just suffered injuries in college. So I think Fabian Moreau will actually be a guy that might be slept on right now, but a lot of people will know his name come the end of the season.
Yeah, and I'm kind of biased in this sense. I like Jimmy Moreland. I really do. I think there's something about this cat that he has a lot to prove. I actually had a coworker whose son played with him at JMU. So I just think that there's good things around him and Fabian as well. I never forget his coach commented on the draft video I did that year from high school. And he said, you guys got one. And these were the guys, these were the cats that legitimately were they had injuries in college at UCLA and Virginia Tech. Fuller and him back-to-back years, but they said they could have been 1st-round picks if they had stayed healthy. And
both
Fabian showed it. Yeah. Fabian showed it, man. I think he's going to show out as well. I think this, like I said, I think this, and then Sean Davis in the mix there at free safety. I think we have the makings of a top 10 defense. I really do. And, I think it's kind of, what's up, Juan Gotti? How you doing, fam? How you doing, man? The man, the Gotti father. He's too busy watching. He's the reason why Max Scherzer walked out of the game today. Only was two innings, man.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Franklin said, why is our team a week late dropping the look for what the helmets are going to look like? I mean, I think we don't even know what the jerseys are really going to look like. We just see concepts of them. they haven't needed the helmets for anything yet. So I think that's probably the biggest thing there, Franklin. But continue with the defense. Jack Del Rio had a little heart-to-heart discussion with Ben. I'm going to get Ben's name right from The Athletic. Brother Ben
Standig,
from The Athletic.
Standig.
Yeah, Standig. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
it's not.
Dude,
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't sound how it's spelled, but yeah.
Yeah, dude has some great things. The Athletic is worth buying. I don't care. And if you have an EDU, you get 50% off for a year. So go out there and get The Athletic. But he did a Q&A with Jack Del Rio, and I said this before, and I'm gonna do my best. Laura Ham, or whatever his name is from Fox News Channel, and I'm gonna be like this. Shut up and coach football, Jack. Just coach football. Anyway, but he got on there and he talked about. He brought up 3 players on this defense that I think people have kind of overlooked, but have been performed okay to slightly above average. He mentioned Cole Holcomb and what he did. So I think we may see him at middle linebacker. I think they may have brought John Bostic in there to push him a little bit, but I think we'll see him at middle linebacker because he loved what Cole was doing. He brought another one, Ryan Anderson. The ability for him to be a tweener. He can stand up, play linebacker. He can also put his hand in the dirt. So that's going to make him, if he cuts a little bit of pounds. Him and Reuben Foster, actually, they aren't that much in like height and weight. I think he's a little bit slightly heavier, not that much though. I really do think it's a fistful in the poundage area. So and I can't think of who the third guy was. Deron Payne, that's who it was. Deron Payne, that was the third guy, and he was raved on. He mentioned Deron and Ryan twice. Yeah. So and then he mentioned his tweets, and I was just like, just play. Let's just coach football. Like when you're doing stuff like that, and it's been a pandemic, I don't want to hear. He did a very diplomatic answer. He said, I like having discussions and everything with people agreeing and disagreeing with me. I'm like, dude, just stop. Just stop. But I mean, I thought it was interesting that he brought up those 3 guys out of all the players that he has on that defense that could do something. I don't, but outside of the guys we talk about in secondary, like who is going to show up? People say, I know people going to say this. They say Reuben Foster. Reuben Foster hasn't cleared the pup list yet. Yeah. So I'm like, hold on, Delilah. Hold on there.
I definitely think. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No,
it's okay. I definitely think Deron Payne will have a breakout season. Like I see the comment here. I definitely agree. He has, in my opinion, the highest potential out of anyone on the line. Like, he hasn't shown too much in terms of like production, but he doesn't need to when he's an interior defensive lineman, and he's just there to sort of like occupy space and be a really good run stopping defensive lineman, and he has been over the last few years. So I really think he will only continue to improve and continue to be a really good player for us on the line. I think Ryan Anderson, I don't know if you saw, but like there were reports of him playing most of his reps at defensive end so far in training camp. I don't know if that's telling to like where he's going to be at for the full season, but I think he'll most likely be in that rotation as an edge player for us with Chase Young and Ryan Kerrigan and Montez Sweat, of course. But I think out of those 3 guys, I think Cole Holcomb is the guy that we should really look out for this year. He had over 100 tackles last year as a rookie on a pretty sorry defense last year because of the fact that, like, our defense wasn't really good. Like, we have to admit it. We had the talent, but there was no production there. I think we were like 29th or 30th overall in defense. And but Cole Holcomb showed out. And I don't think he offers too much pass coverage ability yet, but I mean, he was a rookie in the NFL. Like, what more can you ask for out of like the 100 tackles and the several tackles for losses, and this is really good ability overall. So, but I think it will be a good starting strong side linebacker for us, and sort of play the run stopping sort of backer that we need in our defense to make it a really good strong unit.
Yeah. Let's see here. One said, did Max really leave? Why? I don't know, but he left and Fade came in there, according to what I was seeing here. And then Soto, 2 for 2. He comes back. Childish Bambino. He's back, y'all.
Juan Goto.
Yeah. Dwayne Haskins. Hey man, send me an autograph or something if that's the real Haskins. Let's see. I think Sean Davis will have a breakout season or in the contract. He's a free athlete. Oh yeah,
the Turp.
Yep. Fear the Turtle. I hope he didn't play. Was Durkin the head coach when he was there? Or was it old crazy guy who's at UConn now? Let's see here. Could it be a smokescreen as he means they are players that need to step up? Just saying. That's fair, Franklin. I do think that's a good point. It could be a psychological warfare there. Payne did not have the best season last year. He did take that little bit of a slump. So that could be possible there. Cole Holcomb, like we said, he wasn't good in passing, but as far as in the run game, he could stop folks. And he showed up, and I think he just had a quiet. He had a quiet 100 tackle season there.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We were 31st in red zone defense. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
You knew
with all that talent.
Yeah.
It's just unacceptable.
Right. We were already talented on the defense. Like, that's the thing people don't realize. We had some tools, but we didn't know how to use them. Like, we were like using flatheads when we should have been. We were using Phillips where we should have been using flatheads. That's basically what we were doing. Goody Two Shoes says our defense line ranks number 3 coming into the season. Good sign to the start off on our way for good. Absolutely. And Dwayne Haskins said, never mind. Red zone defense was 25. Still bad. Oh yeah. That's like apples and oranges right there. We were horrible. We couldn't stop anybody. I don't think we could really stop anybody on the opponent's side of the 50, to be honest with you. Once they got across midfield, they were like, yep, we're going to cash in on y'all. Like we owed them something. But, oh gosh. And then we talked about the linebackers and everything. There has been some movement though in the NFL, and one of our favorite offensive weapons who could never find the field. It's a common theme. Jordan Reed went to I guess they may have gave him a green card or a blunt card or something like that to go out there and see if he can cure his concussions. He's joining the 49ers, and he is joining a team that already has Mr. Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
What were you thinking, man?
The best tight end in the league.
What were you thinking when you saw that yesterday?
For one, I thought for Jordan Reed in particular, I thought, why does he want to play again? He suffered 7 concussions at least, right? And I think at this point it really is time for him to like hang up the cleats and sort of rest on the amount of money that he accumulated over the years with that big contract that he signed a couple of years back, and just be with your family, right? But at the same time, I get his inner drive to want to play football more. I think we all sort of have that, but when you're a professional athlete, it's just like magnified even more. And but him, if healthy, which he never is, but like even for the couple games he is healthy, just him and Kittle as your 2 tight ends. Gosh. Yeah. And then you got Kyle Shanahan scheming like really well on offense, scheming a couple running plays, and just being a really good schemer as a whole on offense. And it's gonna be tough, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got. I mean, I hope all the worst things in the world happen to Kyle Shanahan. I really do. When it comes to the football world, I didn't get.
Yeah.
I got a lot of joy in watching him blow another lead in a Super Bowl because of his arrogance, and that's exactly
he hated
what
his time here too.
Yeah,
He asked like a question during a press conference.
yeah, he did. He hated his time there. He's just so smug and arrogant, and he rides off his daddy's coattails of winning 2 Super Bowls when he had a all-world running back. But I'm tired of being bitter about that. But yeah, Jordan Reed, man, I don't get it. Like I really don't. I get the competitiveness, but seriously, you're talking about your livelihood now.
Yeah.
Like the next one, you might not get up. There was a reason why when you were in Atlanta, you didn't play the rest of the season. I mean, he's got to think about being smart. He really does have to be a little bit smarter about himself. And like maybe he needs to call Tim Tebow. Maybe they need to pray or go to the temple and get some holy water on him. He might be all right then. But that remains to be seen in that respect, though. I was also thinking about this. We got some new guys there. We talked about Inman. We mentioned him, but when they signed him, they brought him in. Not the guy that everybody was looking for because, we like to swing for the fences as fans whenever there's wide receiver. We couldn't get Josh Gordon. I guess the drug deal didn't go down at Burgundy and Gold Park. But, Antonio Brown facing an 8-game suspension. That was a no-go as well. What do you see? Does Inman even make this team?
I think with their depleted receiving core as is, and I'm not just talking about receivers, wide receivers, I'm talking about tight ends as well. I think Dontrell Inman does have a pretty good chance of making the roster and even maybe pushing for that wide receiver 2 position as we talked about earlier. And I get it, over the last couple of years, he hasn't really shown much anywhere he's been. But, and he is pretty far off from his 2015 season where I think he had like 800 yards and a good handful of touchdowns and with the Chargers. But, with the Colts, I saw a couple of interviews and some highlight tape as well. He built a pretty good rapport with Andrew Luck, and Andrew Luck really relied upon him once T.Y. Hilton went down with injuries, and which he usually does. But he trusted him, and he looked for him on third downs. He looked for him down the field, and he provides really good speed. I think he ran like a 4.43 or 4.40 flat in the 40-yard dash, and provides some good route running. So I think he does have the inside track at the wide receiver 2 position, especially because AGG, who is hopefully going to be our wide receiver 2 for the future, is a rookie, hasn't got much reps in the short off season. So I think he definitely has a really good chance of not only making the roster, but playing a pretty key role in the offense this year, honestly.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah, I see, and I still think the wide receivers are all right, no matter, I think one more injury might, and I'll start getting concerned. But I think at that position, because we were always talking about, you talk about AGG, we were like, who's going to be Kelvin Harmon, AGG? Who's going to be that number 2 beside Terry? I think Sims is the prototypical slot receiver. So, he's going to play inside. He's going to make space. He really is a gadget player because he scored touchdowns, 3 different ways? He ran one in. He caught a few. He had a punt return. He probably could have thrown one for all we know. But did the end around on one of the best defenses in the league. Yeah. So, in the kind of transitioning from the wide receiver spot, the guy who received the franchise tag met with the media today, and Brandon Sheriff, and looks good. He looks like he's taking care of himself. He looks like he's kind of thinned out a little bit. He looks like he should be on a wanted page, but he's saying all the right things as well. He said he wants to get something done eventually. I guess when everything's said and done, do you think past 2020, is he going to be a part of this team's future?
It's tough because of the fact that if he does continue being a part of our future, he will command a high salary. But at the same time, I think he is such a pivotal role, not just on our offensive line, but on our offense. He isn't a skill player, but his impact is widely felt throughout the offense on running plays, passing plays, pass production. So I do think Washington will re-sign him. It might not come like right away, but I do think they'll get the deal done. And I think Ron Rivera hasn't really re-signed him this year just because of the fact that like he wants to take a wait and see approach with all his players. He doesn't want to re-sign guys who he doesn't really know, right? Like he's only met these guys through Zoom, hasn't even met them like through practice reps on the field during OTAs, and training camp is really his first time seeing a lot of them in person. So I think they will get the deal done. And I mean, he's a top 100 player. I don't know why he wasn't on the list, honestly, for the NFL Network, but he's a top 100 player at his in the NFL, not just at his position. So I think we definitely need to sign him. He's a pivotal part on our offense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I don't know because now you're talking about that. I don't know Moses has one more year on his contract, right? Is he through 2021?
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about this is Roulier's contract year. They may likely let him walk because they let Spencer Spencer Long walk, who had been a main staple on that offensive line for a while, who actually got released by Buffalo last week. So you're talking about bringing back your start. You're going to have to pay your starting center, your starting right guard on that offensive line. So that could drastically change that that whole offensive line if you let one or both of these guys walk. And it seems like if I know Ron Rivera, though, he takes care of in-house things, though, before he goes out and pays a free agent to come out and do it. Like he just does it. I don't know what Brandon's going to do. I don't really have. He's got to stay healthy. That's the key thing for him. He's got to be present on this team. And you brought up the top 100, and this is where I have my axe to grind with them.
Yeah,
Terry McLaurin has better numbers than DK Metcalf. Has the same amount of touchdowns. I think has more yards receiving. He has almost 1,600, not 1,600, but 16 yards per reception. And then DK's more like 15 and a half. How can he be ranked 81st? Is it because he's got the better quarterback? Like, I don't get, like, I don't know how you put these guys in there. Is it because he's a workout demon? What did you think? Did you think when you saw DK on there, well, maybe Terry might have a shot at getting on this list?
Yeah. So I'll give you two reasons. One, recency bias, and then two, the fact that DK Metcalf played on a really good team and the Washington Redskins, right, like were a terrible team last year. So I think those two reasons are pretty much why DK Metcalf was ranked as high as he was. Although A.J. Brown wasn't on the list, and I think he had a better season as well over DK Metcalf. So I think, but with Terry specifically, I think the fact that DK Metcalf was balling out in that one playoff game, he had I think over 100 yards and a touchdown or two, and it was in the playoffs. A lot of players saw it, so I think that sort of gives DK the edge. But I think we all know that Terry McLaurin is the best rookie receiver from last year, and is the best second-year receiver this year. And Pro Football Focus sort of backs that up. And just the eyeball test, when you watch all three receivers on the field, like I think Terry McLaurin sort of has it. And but I think with the list ranked by the players, it's pretty much a compilation list. All these lists are just thrown around and put into one top 100. I think that's probably why DK Metcalf was ranked where he was and was on the list, period.
Yeah, and they said that this was during the Thanksgiving holiday where they kind of compile the list, and then they finally edit it through. My thing is, why don't you wait until like later in the season to
I thought
do
I thought it was around like the Super Bowl, like after the.
That's what I thought, but somebody was saying it was through Thanksgiving. So I heard that, like they said, that was when it, which would kind of make sense in that degree, but yeah, I really don't know. I think it would make sense for it to be more in the Super Bowl, but I had heard Thanksgiving time that they had sent the rankings out to do this. So that might be why it's on there. He's on there like that, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's probably it's the bias. Like anybody can say, we can sit here all day and be like, well, we suck. But I do think there was a bias there. It was kind of funny. I was reading a uniform ranking of like uniforms, and they put our uniform at 12. They said, see, you changed the name, your uniform instantly gets better. So I'm like, so right, it was already good. Right, like you right there, you're telling me
biased.
Like you have a bias of that team. Like you just admitted it because of the name, not because of the fact that, our owner is like Napoleon 3.0. Not because our head coach may or may not have been tag teaming with with a player on a receptionist, but the fact that it was the name. Whether you think it's racist or whatever, I don't care to this point. I'm done. I'm over that. But I'm like, dude, just tell me what you're doing. Be consistent and be honest. Oh Lord, Sheriff is an elite talent. This is Dwayne Haskins. I'd be surprised if he really wants to stay on a rebuilding team instead of a Super Bowl caliber team. Just don't go to San Francisco and I'll be good.
Yeah.
Down south, VANC, I'm ready for the season to start. Book of High Quality Band said they start the poll around Thanksgiving. It ended at the Pro Bowl. Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
So that's probably why now it makes more sense, because that's probably why Lamar Jackson was ranked number 1, right, and not Mahomes, because of the fact that he got the regular season.
But to even in that degree, Russell Wilson was number 2, and Mahomes was like 4.
He was injured though, remember, during most of the regular season.
Still though. I know, but like if I'm putting these two cats up together, I mean, if we remember, they played head to head the year before, and I think Kansas City handled them.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm looking at. Like, my homeboy can do and what he can do. Now Russell's good. Like Russell is great. I love Russell Wilson, but I think it's like Mahomes, Russell right here for me in that hierarchy. But yeah, I don't know. Dan is still trying to be like Jerry Jones. Yeah, without the rings. So he's like trying to be. It's like if McDonald's started serving Wagyu beef. So it just doesn't make any sense there. Franklin said, "Do you think Scary Terry will hang around once his contract is up? Remember Steve Smith from Carolina?" I mean, I don't know, Franklin. That's in the future. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's too early to say, honestly. I think we first have to see what Ron Rivera brings in terms of his coaching on the field, and if he can turn this whole ship around and really bring us to our winning ways, I guess, of the old. So I think, like you said, like it's sort of early to say that. Yeah.
Do you think Ryan Kerrigan should start or Chase Young? Go ahead. Yeah, like you're speaking for me too on this one.
Yeah, I think that one is pretty easy to answer. Chase Young, is the number 2 overall pick. We invested a lot of draft capital in him, and he is the future cornerstone of our defense. So why not start now? And he, unlike all the other rookies that we drafted. Doesn't need all the reps to show what he got and to show that he is a stud player. So I have no worries about Chase Young.
And I think our training staff said he's probably the best player that they have ever trained with or trained. So, I mean, that says all you need to about that.
Yeah.
I said, we talked about like the offensive line and moving from Roulier. Don't sleep on Ismail, Keith Ismail. Don't sleep on this dude. I think we've got a star in the making with him on the offense. I really do. I think this team has hit on it's going to hit on a lot from the 2020 draft. I know more often than not, I think this draft could be compared to like our 1981 draft.
Wow.
Because we put so many players in motion that were contributors for years. I think that's what's going to happen here. But he can play guard. He can play both guard spots, and he can play a center. So he's a good interior lineman. So I can't wait to see him, and I think folks are sleeping on him.
It reminds me a lot of Roulier, too, sort of being a late-round draft pick, but maybe being a solid starter, like you said.
And I think he reminds me of Laribus. Remember Josh Laribus?
Oh yeah,
yeah. So he could play in. He could fit in any of those spots right there. But I think Ishmael will be a little bit better there. What was wrong with Steve Smith under Ron Rivera in Carolina? Steve was a top 5 receiver in the NFL. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to change the scenery. I guess he told Ron Rivera. Yeah, he did, and he probably told Ron to ice up son too many times. So that's probably what it is. Let's see here. The last 2 picks we had were the only picks I questioned. Was that Curl and Smith Williams or whatever?
Yeah.
That last one was a little weird to me. I didn't like that. I think Curl could be beneficial. I think he just fit the mantra of the Redskins at the time before the Washington Post article came out. He loved cheerleaders, opposing teams cheerleaders, and so why not come home, bro? But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about those last 2 picks that we had?
So first off, I don't understand the point of having 2 7th-round picks. I think it's great to accumulate picks, but like at that point in the draft, maybe move up to the 6th or the 5th round and go from there. I think Cam Curl, though, he's really, really, really like a poor man's Landon Collins in the fact that like he's a box safety, really, and like he can't really do anything other than that. So I think it gives you some potential in terms of stopping the run and just being a good tackler. But other than that, I don't think he was really good in coverage like in college. So, I mean, that's a liability. And then James Smith-Williams, I know he's super smart. Like we there were reports out there about like how smart he was and like his aspirations and stuff. But outside of that, I mean, do we really need another edge player? We have a bunch of them already. It's probably on the roster bubble at this point.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one. They said he like tapped out on strength, like when he was a freshman, and he was always hurt. I think last season was the only season where he played a majority of the season. So Steve had issues with the owner, not Ron. That's why he traded. Yeah, that's true.
Jerry Richardson, that same owner.
Yep. Oh, Jerry Richardson. Dubs, I'm not going to answer that question because I know you're trying to start stuff, so I'm going to leave that one alone. Cheerleaders are the best, Damien, we know. And Franklin, handle your business with Damien. I hear you, man. So we kind of move over because I said we were going to talk a little bit about other sports here. And, I guess we'll start with the most successful league right now and how they're getting through this pandemic, and that's the NBA. I thought they had banned crash test dummies in like the automobile industry. Apparently, the Wizards did not get this memo. because they have snapped, they have crackled, and they have popped. I think they're about to lose again to the 76ers.
Yep. 0-4.
Yep, 0-4 in the bubble, and their bubble has all but burst. I think they're like 5 games behind. Who's the eighth in the 8th spot right now? I just saw it.
Magic.
Yeah, Orlando. Yep, that's right. Yep, it was Orlando. So your division rival and all that good stuff. I don't.
Building for the future. That's what it is.
Your 2 best players weren't there. Beal and Bertans. Hopefully, God, everything we're seeing about John Wall is going to be good. I mean, John Wall hasn't impressed me over the last couple of times he's been out to play. Like he's just been, he's been a guy. It's become Beal's team, man. It's not Wall's team. Like oh gosh, Becca Winkert. She does Wizards Extra. And I mean, she's always sharing stuff about John Wall coming back and everything on Twitter. And I'm like, dude, is this going to be like a Gilbert comeback? Like, we're like, oh, he's healthy. And then it's like, oh, God, this dude's lost a lot of his mojo.
Yeah. It's tough. I think John Wall, I mean, he's still a great player, but I think coming off those major injuries, he just, I don't know, man. He's already, 30, 31 years old. He's getting up there in age. And
he's not 30. He's 30. He's just
okay.
2 months older than I. He's not even 30. He's 2 months older than me. Calm down. He not getting up there just yet.
In terms of basketball age, in terms of the years of experience, he's been playing in the NBA since he was 19. I mean,
oh Lord,
for sure.
But I had to get you there. I had to get you in that entrapment right there. But I mean, I knew this team wasn't going to do much. I mean, Rui has given us hope for the future. I'd love to see more out of Troy Brown. I really would. Thomas Bryant has played.
He's showing some things.
Yeah, he's been showing something. I think we might finally have a big man that we can be proud of. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. And maybe Wagner can get in there and start playing a little bit better. And who we get in the draft? Maybe we might get LaGello Mold, and we might have LeVar coming. LeVar, like, the Wizards gonna be good. Like, we're gonna win championships. We're gonna be great. We're gonna have all that. It's gonna be Big Baller Brand. And they're gonna call John Wall Big Baller Waller. Like, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And then Lonzo gonna come. And everybody gonna come up here and we're gonna win. So
I wish we were picking that high though. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. We could. I mean, the way the odds are going down, maybe the odds might be in our favors here. But book of high quality band. Oh, he's a Cowboys fan. I'm sorry. Cheerleaders have been the thing about the Washington team. How about them Cowboys? So disrespectful. Greg Lightbody, another longtime subscriber. You think Wright makes the team? I think he'll probably make it on. It's a big wide receiver room, man.
Yeah.
I really do think that. I think he'll be a practice squad player.
Yeah, I think Wright can make the team, largely because the last 2 years we've had an undrafted receiver that we've sort of allowed to make the team and also has played a pivotal role. We had Cam Sims a couple of years ago, Steven Sims last year, of course. So maybe Isaiah Wright could be that sort of player for us. We'll see.
Oh yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Wizards are like the Washington football team. They're than a pack of mules. This is coming from a person who's a Chicago Bulls and Bears fan. And
I go to school in Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that. So what phrase starts with bull, Damien, and you're full of it. And then what you need to do is bear down on those subjects. I'll leave it at that. So the Capitals, I know you talk Capitals on there too, and I love watching the Capitals. They had a game against Tampa Bay. And this is a game that this team could have won, lost it in a shootout. They were down 0-2, came back, played Kuznetsov, got it tied, and I think it was Oshie who got them rolling on the board, if I'm not mistaken. And was it
might have been Panic? Was it Panic?
Yeah, it was Richard Panic. Yeah. It was Richard Panic. That's who it was. Yeah. But I mean, I think that I would rather get these guys later on.
Yeah.
Than get them now. I'm fine with being the 4th seed in the East. I really am, because seeding means nothing.
Yeah.
In these playoffs, it really like it doesn't. There's no home ice advantage. You're in Toronto, so you're not going to be you're not going to be anywhere else. You're not going back to Washington. I really do think that it doesn't matter where you seed at. It's just to me, especially when you're the top 4, and I don't know how you look at this, but it's pretty much just an extra preseason game, to be honest with you. But in like, what are our shots, do you think? I mean, we're gonna be fighting for that cup again. We're gonna get past the first round. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think just like the Nats, actually, like you said, like seeding really doesn't matter. How many times have we won like a division championship and we've gone out like in the second round of the playoffs, if that, right? Like, it's just happened way too many times. And I think the Capitals have a stacked roster at this point, and I think they are a legitimate Stanley Cup contender. Obviously, they have to contend with, some of the most powerful, most important teams in the playoffs. You got the Pens always, right? Who we did get past 2 years ago, but like they're still our heated rival, and it's always tough sledding there. But I think the Caps are legit, Stanley Cup contender this year, and I think with guys like Kuznetsov, Ovechkin, who's still doing it, man, at 34 years old, he's still doing it.
He's the man.
Grade 8, he's still doing it. We got Backstrom, we got other guys, Carlson. I'm looking forward to what the Caps will bring this playoffs, and I don't specifically cover the Caps on my channel, but like I know obviously a lot about them, and I'm just looking forward to some more hockey and the Caps maybe go on a run this year similar to 2018. We'll see.
Yeah. And then I'll wrap. And then the DC sports, we got to talk about the Nats.
Yeah.
And which has been interesting in this whole situation. I don't know if we talked about this on air, but I think you and I might have talked about this before we came on here. This team has played all their games at home, even their 2 road games, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, you're playing in your home park, but at the end of the day, it does not matter. There's no really home field advantage besides sleeping in your own bed. They said, I just saw something about Scherzer here. Let me see.
He was out, right? I think he got injured.
Yeah. He had diminished velocity on his pitches. Oof. That's why. So
already down Strauss.
Yeah. And now, so Corbin's your ace right now. But they did pick up. They did a little bit better. Could have had the Yankees. Could have beat them twice.
Yeah.
Let it slip in that 8th inning where they kind of had that route. Should have beat. I really do think they should have beat Toronto. Twice. Should have beat them at least 3 times, but that was neither here nor there. They beat them on the road twice in that in that game. So, in this East, I think, and now the Braves, they have trouble.
Yeah, they're starting pitching.
Yeah, and they don't have good pitching to begin with. They can hit the cover off the ball, but I really think if the Nationals can get the Strasburg back in the right time, and then Scherzer, this isn't a big thing for Scherzer. I think it's going to come down to us in the Phils in the East. I just don't think Atlanta's got it, man.
Yeah, definitely agree there. I don't know, man. It's going to be. I definitely think Atlanta will probably. I mean, they still got Acuna, and they still got like a really young roster, so they'll still be a threat. But I definitely think the Phillies will probably be the leading team. with the Nats, but now with Max Scherzer being gone, hopefully it's just for this game. I don't know how long. He's usually experienced stints on with injuries and stuff. So I don't know, man. We do have Soto back though, and I heard that he was 2 for 2. Haven't watched too much of tonight's game, but we're at 500 right now, and I do think a couple more wins are coming for us, and I think the Nats. People should stop sleeping on the Nats. I think the Nats will be pretty good this year, and hopefully we get Max Scherzer back and everything's back to normal, right? With our rotation, with our lineup, and start accumulating wins and maybe even compete for another championship.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I think the only thing with the Nats, I think, the Nats are slow starters.
Yeah.
I mean, when they first started being really good, you think about in 2012. They were slow starters. 2014, they were slow starters. They didn't really start hitting their strides until June.
Yeah.
You talk about last year, it was late May before they really started piecing it together. And people were calling for Dave Martinez's job. I was one of them. I'll say it right now. I said, let's just scrap it and move on. And then he started showing me. So I think it was the Diamondbacks game too, and I think that was in June though. But I was just like, we just didn't we're not with it. But then we started putting it together. So I mean, you never know with this team. I think we're built to win now because of the age of the team. Howard Kendrick, I don't know. This man's he is avoiding father time like the plague.
Yeah.
And he's balling out. Had a 4-for-4 night last night.
What are your thoughts on Keyboom and him, replacing Rendon and being a stud guy on the hot corner for us?
I think it's gonna take him a little bit of time on the offensive side. I think defensively he'll be all right. That's a lot of offense to replace from Rendon.
Yeah,
that is a lot of offense to replace, and I don't think that's fair to him. To put that on him. You just got to be the best version of yourself. I always say this: instead of looking for the next Anthony Rendon, be the best Carter Louis Keyboom that you can be. And and I'm honest about that. I don't think you look at it. I always say in football, people always said, you got to look for it when you look for a head coach. You need to look for the next Bill Belichick, right? You think about it, people were looking for the next Bill Parcells, and Belichick was working under him, right?
Yeah.
Belichick was the best version of Bill Belichick. And then all these guys, they're getting these young coaches now. Find the next Sean McVay. But now you're starting to learn, right? It's how they deal with adversity. Can Sean McVay deal with adversity? He had it good. Now, what are you going to do there? But yeah, going back to Carter, I think he just has to be the best version, the best Carter Keyboom he can be. And I think that everything else will fall in place. Got a NBA question. Do the Wizards still get to be a part of the lottery picks if they don't make playoffs? Yes, that is true. Because if they finish 9th, which they're in the 9 hole right now, they will be part of the lottery picks. Dubs giving Damian up the road. Atlanta's batting order is stacked. That alone will keep them in the race. It could. It could. Yep. Franklin, don't worry. Dodgers will win it.
I mean, they have a stacked lineup though. We got to be honest here. They got Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger.
What happened with them in the playoffs though?
That's true. Clayton Kershaw.
What happened? What happened with them in the prior 2 World Series that they went to? I mean, they got to show something. They got the Dodgers. Whether it's Dave Roberts' fault or what, they've got a lot of things to atone for, and I don't know. In this shortened season, it could set up for a Yankees-Dodgers World Series in Lord, they would eat that
The
up.
ratings? The ratings? Oh my gosh.
Yes. Like right now, like it's the same thing in the NBA. Everybody wants to see Giannis and LeBron in the finals. So what's that gonna be like? Like what and the ratings would be through the roof. But the only thing is the fans won't be there to experience it.
Yeah.
What did you say? Damien said White Sox 2020 champ.
They're doing pretty well right now, though.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Hey, the Orioles are doing pretty good too now.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. What else do we have here? Do y'all see the MLB finishing the season? I'll let you take that one. What do you think?
I don't know, man. This whole Marlins situation, and now with the Cardinals as well, like a bunch of players, over half the Marlins testing positive for coronavirus and not taking this seriously. Out of all the sports, I am most worried that baseball is not going to complete its season, and such a shame too, because they had the opportunity. I'll say this, like, I don't really blame the players much in like any sort of league, but the players had the opportunity to implement a bubble and they rejected the idea. And, now we're here at this moment where baseball could be shut down, but I don't know. I'm taking it day by day, and I have hope that it won't be, but it's tough, man.
Yeah, yeah, tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Like, I don't know how this is still feasible.
Yeah.
Like, you just think about it. The Nationals had pretty much an all-star break this weekend.
Yeah, they really
get
did.
Healthy, to be at it. And the wildest thing is the Marlins are top in the division because of win percentage. They're 3-1. Like, this last night they haven't played in over a week. Like, dude, it is wild. What's up, Gunner? Gunner does not want LeBron in the that's it. Like, Gunner and I, we are part of the LeBrick Lames hater club. That's what I call him, LeBrick Lames. Yeah, LeBrick Lames.
Oh no.
He should see. I always thought. I said, Gilbert Arenas, he didn't put them guns to good use. He should have brought one of them down all day. Mess with me again, man. Mess with me again. Come up here and trying to mess my shot up when I'm shooting free throws. Strasburg Franklin, he had it's something in his right. Was it his right hand?
I think so.
It was.
I think it was on his pitching arm. Yeah.
Yeah. It was something there. He had an issue there. So Strauss, God love him. He always has something wrong with him, though.
But we signed him to a mega contract, so I know.
But when you got a GM that values pitching, though, you're gonna get that. Like, man, we got so much deferred money in these cats. It's not even funny. But we got our World Series championship. That's the only thing that matters. Yep. And I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Here's a fun question for you. So you've seen the playoffs, right? And like in these different sports, what playoff is the most stressful? Do you think like in all the four major sports? Which one did you think was God, from top to bottom? Like which one do you think would be the most stressful?
Oh, it's football for sure. Like it's you don't have a series for every single round. It's literally just one game. You could go home if you lose this game. You could go on into the next round if you win this game. And I think football, it has the necessary components that you need to have a great postseason every single year. And I know they added a 7th team, correct? And that might change things a bit, but no, I taking the formerly Redskins Washington football team out of the picture. I love the NFL postseason. It's every single game legit matters, man. What more do you want?
Yeah. I think that about football sometimes, but since the Skins haven't been in there, Washington hasn't been in there. I know you're a Celtics fan, Gunner, by the way, but we own those LeBrick Lane hater cards, man. And baseball was the most stressed I have ever been.
That's because our team was making a run, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, that was the most stressed I had ever been in
Yeah.
like a month. Like I was like, I'm weird anyway when it comes to like the Capitals and stuff. Like I knew
Yeah.
I could crap talk for like the first 2 rounds. And then I'd be like, okay, now we're playing Pittsburgh. Now we're playing Pittsburgh. And then I'm like, oh God. And then I'm like, oh, we're down. Like
Oh,
my
no.
mind, if we go behind, I'm like, oh God, we got to do this. And then I'm like, oh God, we're down by Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is just going to win, and it's going to be. I was like, oh crap. And then it was all easy. But with the Nationals, man, that was the most stressful month I had ever been in, because it started at wild card game, and then we were like, crap, we got to play the Dodgers. And then all the way, game 5, Grand Slam out. And then, hey, it was a little nice. We swept the Cardinals. Whoop-de-dee, after the manager talked all that crap, and he said, we'll end the shit and all this stuff. And then the World Series, I'm like, my God. This was all in a month. The Capitals NHL playoffs are spread over 2 months. This was all done in 1 month. That's what scared the living daylights out of me.
I think, out of like the Caps playoff run and the Nats playoff run, I think I was like you, like I was way more stressed out last year. It was just too much coming from behind and, falling short and facing tough teams like the Dodgers and Astros. So I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. Damien asked, NBA is he didn't ask, he just said NBA is going to rig the season for Kobe watch. Possible. I don't know. We never know. Watch your numbers. That's all Dubs would say. NHL has the best playoffs by far.
It's entertaining. Yeah,
it is. It is entertaining. But once the Capitals done, I don't watch.
Yeah,
I don't watch it. I'm done. I'm like watching Pittsburgh win it all the time. That's the God. It's all that money. Book and high quality band says of high quality band. Yankees winning the World Series. Phillies winning the Stanley Cup. Bucks winning the finals, and the Ravens winning the Super Bowl. I'm calling it down.
At least 0-3.
Yeah. I just don't see. I don't see Philly. I don't see Philly winning the Stanley Cup, because it's in the Stanley Cup. It's never the team you think's going to win it.
Yeah.
Like it's never. Yeah, it really is. Like Boston was losing steam at the end of the season last year, this past year, and I think they were the number 1 team coming into that little round robin. The Yankees, I can see that just because, but their starting pitching outside of Garrett Cole is not good. That's the one thing about them. It's Garrett Cole and then a bunch of dudes.
Didn't
the Bucks,
one of their go ahead?
No, go ahead. No.
Didn't was it the Yankees? One of their starting pitchers went down for the year. I don't know if it was the Yankees.
It might have been. I know the Braves lost the guy the other day.
Yeah.
But I don't. Maybe is what's his name? Savarino, is he still on their team?
Oh, I think he was the one that went down.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that was another guy, and he was there. I think he was like their ace of their staff last year too. So the Bucks winning the finals.
Nope.
No, I think LeBrick Lames is going to win it, but
I agree with you on that one though.
Yeah,
that the Lakers.
You agree with LeBrick Lames? Okay,
no, I don't agree with that. Put some respect on his name. No, I agree with the Lakers winning. But on the NBA, I did want to actually talk to you about this.
Go ahead.
Do you think the Raptors can make it? Because I really do think they can make it to the finals again. I legit do. Yeah.
I mean, they could. I think the East is a crapshoot anyway. It's top heavy. So you've got the Bucks, you got Boston, and what's Toronto right now? Where are they at in the playoffs?
Second in the East. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's in the realm of possibility. And they don't have Kawhi, but they did sneak up last year and took it from the Bucks. And I think the Bucks could have probably won it, especially with I think anybody in the East that won the conference could have won it with how Golden State was tailing off. So no, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I think for the ratings, I think everything's going to be. I think it's going to be. It's going to be Milwaukee because people are saying it should have been them last year, and it just didn't happen. The only. Go ahead.
No, like with the Raptors though, something that like not a lot of people know is that even without Kawhi, like we all know how great of a defender he is and how it was pretty much like a lockdown on Giannis last year. But the Raptors were still second in the NBA in defense this year. And they lost a bunch of players for like 10 to like 15 games each. Like they lost Gasol for a long time. They lost even Siakam was injured for a while. So I don't know. They might have enough, like collectively, if you look at it.
They play team ball, something that's lost in the NBA. I mean, you see that at the college level, but if they can play team ball, they can win. I mean, you know who I think if they can just play, and I know like this is a bad word when we say this team out in the West, but if they can play a little bit of defense, Houston. Like, I mean, they can play a little bit. I know D'Antoni doesn't believe in defense. Like, I mean, like that's like true. You're probably talking about his mama when you say the word defense to him. Because he's like, shoot. Yeah, you got it. Just shoot the ball. Shoot the ball. Shoot it. We had a lovely lady who her son played ball at school I work at, my alma mater, and his name was Chance, and she would always say, shoot the ball, Chance. And he'd be at mid-court. Like, no, Chance, don't shoot the ball. Don't shoot the ball. Take that Mike D'Antoni baby back bull and leave it in the NBA. But they say Chance didn't shoot the ball, but like if they can play a little bit defense, they could. I'm just saying. In the beard, fear the beard, man. He wants. And you got is Westbrook back yet, or is he? Yeah. So I mean, you got these two guys like who have played together before in Oklahoma City and made it to the finals with Kevin Durant. I think those two guys' values was undersold when they were in Oklahoma City. But yeah, man, I think you talk about Toronto, and I have a feeling about the Rockets. Like you do with Toronto, and I would love to see that as a final because you got this high-powered offense and this
really good defense,
a sound team, rocking and rolling, dude. But so we'll see how it goes. But I do think it'll be LeBrick Lames. I think it'll be Giannis in the finals. I'm sorry, Gunnar. I just don't see Kemba Walker in the Celtics just doing it, and I don't. Like I said, LeBron's going to blame Lonzo in this. Like, that's right. Because we told LeBron how to win. You had to have Lonzo on the team. You got to have him on there. You got to have Lonzo on there. Now we're gonna show Zion how he should have won at Duke and everything. But yeah, thanks, LeVar. Tatum's going to be throwing a SWAT party. Shoot. Oh, man. Shoot. Hey, that's one thing I love. Like talking to Gunnar the other day, that man, he will say something. If he tells you that sky is green out there, he will tell you and keep on telling you it's green. It can be red. It could be green. It could be blue out there. And he's going to say, it's green, man. It's green. And he almost make you believe it, too. Oh, my gosh. Here we go again. The Washington Unknowns need to opt out. They coming in last anyway. Don't do this. Don't be disrespectful. Don't do that. Come on now. Why are you gonna talk about that? You and the Dallas football team, like y'all, who y'all quarterback gonna be? Yeah, like how y'all gonna be? Like I mean, I thought. What y'all think? Romo coming out there? Like I always said, these people, Romo, they love Romo and didn't hate him once Dak was. I said, what happened to all my Romo sexuals? Where are y'all at? We need y'all to come back.
No more Tony Romo.
No more Tony Romo. Mm-mm-mm. But hey, that is what it is in there. Dallas, y'all need to pay Dak. Don't be worrying about us. We're gonna handle our own. Dak, he might opt out. I think Dak should opt out on Thursday, just for his health in the future of his career. I really do.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking about him. I'm worried about the brother. I think he should get paid. But and then I think about the opt out. Do you think tomorrow we will see big names opt out?
I
At
heard,
the deadline.
yeah, I heard Tre'Davious White was someone who might opt out. Like there was speculation about that on Twitter today, but I think there could be a couple big names. I don't think there will be any big names from Washington, but I think we could see a couple big name players opt out tomorrow. With it being the last day for the deadline.
Yeah, I mean, I had heard that, and this is on the for real, that Jeremy Fowler said that it'd be about 50,
Wow.
could be possibly 50 players that decide to opt out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think people were talking like, why aren't we seeing anything out of training camp? Why aren't they putting anything together? They don't know who they're going to have and what adjustments they're going to have to make to the roster.
Yeah.
Before they actually put on pads and everything. That's why they're giving them this opt out period to do it. I think, I really do. I think people like Alex Smith, should opt out, but he probably won't opt out. I don't know anybody else in the medical area that should opt out. I would love to see Carson and Dak lock, but I really do think it's going to hurt if you see somebody at the level of a Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
or Patty Mahomes, which I don't think he will opt out after signing that, sign that out there coming out there, sign that contract. But I mean, it could be that could be cataclysmic to a lot of teams, and it could shape like what teams are good. Like you might actually see some bad teams.
Yeah.
Look out. I think another name you need to look out for, Matt Stafford, because of his wife.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Like somebody like a Matt Stafford. I really do like. I think they said he was on that COVID list to begin with, but it would not surprise me if he opted out for the season just because of his wife. And I don't know if any other players like Tim Settle could be another one for the Redskins, for Washington, because he just had a baby this week. So I think on Monday. Oh God, it's Wednesday already. On Monday he had one. So you never know. And like I said, Russell Wilson too. All these old ass refs are going to be vulnerable. That's true. They will be.
Coaches too.
Yeah, coaches. Yeah, like I mean, you think about it, have you seen like our tight ends coach and our offensive line coach? Those dudes are like in their 70s. Matsko and Honer, those dudes are old.
Yeah.
So I mean, what are you gonna put them in a bubble or something? And like, they're gonna look like Richard Nixon on Futurama and just put them in that little I don't know. The Redskins name and logo was decided to opt out because every year he was tired. Oh, stop. Man, you gotta take that. Hey, I got enough Cowboy fans up here. I got enough Cowboy lovers up in here. I got Chris now up in here. I got Reddy Red. I've been dealing with Chris's bull since we were in 6th grade. So, no, what was that? Chris, what was that? 6th? Was that 6th or 7th? That was 7th grade, I think. Yep. So I would opt out too if I played for Matt Patricia. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know, dude. It is what it is. We'll see what happens there. But if something bad happens, or whatnot, you got to roll with the punches. That's what the world is about right now, is rolling with the punches and making a way through it. I do think the NFL has been dangerously unprepared for this, with the amount of time that they had to prepare for this.
Mm-hmm.
I think people talk about like the hub, like you and I had talked about the hubs for football. Like that's the only thing about the hubs. How can you play those at hub? Because like football's such a long game anyway.
Yeah.
And there's really, I mean, outside of not having commercials, I mean, you can get through a high school football game, in 2 hours max, because you keep on going. But I think you'd have to think about adding in a running clock and all kinds of other crazy things to push it all over.
There was an idea. It was actually pretty interesting. I saw last night on Training Camp Daily on NBC Sports Washington. There was basically a segment where they mentioned like the DC Baltimore area as like a potential hub for like players and teams if in case like the NFL goes with the whole like bubble idea and sort of like isolates its players from its surroundings and stuff. So I mean this area could be a pretty good one, right? Like for a hub, we got the FedEx Field, we got M&T Big Stadium, we have a bunch of high-end high school football fields too that are more reminiscent of like professional football fields. Got a bunch of college teams in the area, so I mean it's obviously like not likely. It's pretty unlikely that they're gonna go with the bubble, especially like this late in the offseason. But I mean this area would be great for it.
Yeah, and Gunner he did say this on Skins. I think he said it here too. The league might just need to play regional games, which I think that would be best there. You think about it, you're going to put like the Skins, the Eagles, and Baltimore maybe, and maybe them playing the Jets and the Patriots as well. Just having like a regional area for these cats to go out there and play. I mean, I think however you break it down, I think that is a sharp idea, Gunner. But we don't know. Roger Goodell should opt out as commissioner with his gun. Damien, he was sitting on that one for a while, probably. But hey, man, I didn't know we were going to be on here this long.
Hey.
We've been on here 2 hours. I appreciate you hanging in there, and it's always good. But like, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this all up for this time at least?
Yeah. I just want to say thank you again for having me on. It's always a pleasure, and you're a good dude, so I'm just glad to be on the channel and have this live stream. But in terms of like our sports teams, I think we just all have to hold on to hope. Got the Nationals and the Caps who should return to their winning ways like very shortly, and we got the Washington football team who, not really good right now, but like they have a bright future for sure ahead of them. So I'm just excited to watch sports, man. Like in this time, this pandemic, like we need something to sort of hold on to, something that will bring us joy. And I think sports sort of offers us that. So, yeah, again, I'm just glad to be here though.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm glad you came on. We will do this again because I just have a great time talking to you. I'm not Colin Cowherd. Although I might like try to ramble off like him. Like, thank God he has Joy Taylor now because it just makes something
makes it watchable.
More to talk about. I'm excited. I'm excited to see things coming back. As far as sports, it gets tired of finding things on Netflix to watch. I do appreciate, like I said, you coming on here. And just taking time out of your day to spend and talk with us. I appreciate everybody who's come in here and gave their 2, 10, 20 cents on subjects, because that's what makes it good. Like that's what makes this organically flow, and it kind of doesn't make me look like a rambling idiot sometimes. But I'm excited. I think that the Washington football team is. I think we're gonna. I think they're gonna surprise some teams this year. I think they're better than what they have been in previous years, just as a organizational standpoint. I think with our other teams, the Capitals, I think the Capitals are going to make a deep run in the playoffs. I think that. with an older team like that, you had a time to break and recollect your thoughts and everything like that. So I think they'll be all right. The Wizards, God love them. And then, the Nationals, hopefully they can stay healthy. Hopefully this experiment that that Major League Baseball is doing will work out eventually. And, they just keep on playing, but God only knows what they'll do in that respect. But yeah, I do appreciate everybody. I just love coming on here talking to y'all. OKG 2000 Brown and Taylor. Yep, we got to remember that.
Yep.
Went through Louisville this last week, so I can I kind of want to make a break to go to town hall and share my 2 cents. But Chris, man, Chris, it was good talking to you, buddy. Keep on coming on here. I know you got a channel I need to go over there and subscribe to. But yeah, subscribe to Nati, man. This dude, he's got some good guests on there, some good young minds talking about DC sports. If you're into that thing, just go on there and watch them, because these are some sharp brothers that know what they're talking about. The Redskins will be 7-9. I really like y'all's defense. Terry is sound, second best wide receiver in the NFC. Second best. Who behind
Amari?
who?
Amari Cooper?
Who behind Amari?
Right now. Like maybe a year from now, we'll talk. I think Terry
man. Yeah. But yeah, make sure you guys go out there. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget, I told you I'm going to 1,000. Going to be doing a giveaway once we hit 1,000. We're, I think, about 140 some, like 138 away from that. So tell grandma, tell grandpa, mom, dad, aunties, uncles, brothers, sisters, sister wives, whoever you want to tell them to subscribe to on the Warpath and Nati too. But once we get to 1,000, we'll be doing it up. We're going to be doing it up and giving that giveaway. And I'm still trying to develop the rules in my head right now. So once we get closer, I will let you guys know. But for Nati, I'm saying shots 405. I love you guys. Appreciate it. Love, peace, and hell. I'll be talking to you real soon. I'm out. Thanks for joining the broadcast. We are out.
Yeah.
And